My beloved child, as you stand at the threshold of this Sunday, I want you to pause and realize that the radiant person you have been waiting for is not living in some distant future. That person is already within you, waiting to be awakened. You have not encountered these words by accident at the very moment when your inner being has begun to grow weary of the old way of living. For a long time, you have sensed that something was changing beneath the surface. Even though outwardly, life seemed to repeat itself as usual. You no longer fully belong to your former habits. Yet you do not know what to call the new person being formed. This place in between has confused you, like someone who has stepped out of a familiar room but remains standing in the hallway because the next door is not yet visible. I have come to tell you that you are not lost. You are simply standing where the past is gradually losing its power and the future is beginning to call your name. You spent too many years believing that something was still missing from you. You thought you needed to become more capable, stronger, more perfect, or more recognized before you could deserve the life you desired. Each time you saw someone else moving forward, you turned inward and searched for the part of yourself that still needed to be repaired. You tried to do more, learn more, and sacrifice more. But the harder you worked to prove your worth, the more exhausted you became. The truth is that you do not need to rebuild yourself from nothing. The qualities you have been searching for were always there. The discernment that helped you recognize what was not genuine. The courage that lifted you during days when no one supported you. And the capacity to love that survived repeated wounds. What you need is not another layer added to you, but the removal of the layers that caused you to forget who you have always been. There were moments when you caught a glimpse of that true person. Your mind suddenly became clear. You knew exactly what needed to be done. And the opinions of others no longer pulled you in every direction. During those moments, you spoke sincerely, walked steadily, and felt your vitality return. You did not need to strain or perform. Everything felt as natural as breathing. Then that clarity disappeared, and the familiar fog returned. You began doubting your decisions, diminishing your voice, delaying what needed to be done, and calling that faded version of yourself normal. But, my child, dimness is not your nature. It is only the result of years spent learning to lower your light so that others would not feel uncomfortable. I call this process dimming, a change that happened so slowly that you did not realize you were moving away from yourself. It began when someone mocked a dream, and you decided never to mention it again. It continued when you spoke the truth, but were called too sensitive. So you learned to remain silent in order to be accepted. Every time you were opposed, compared, or made to feel inadequate, you lowered your light a little more. You apologized for your presence, agreed to things you did not truly want, and gradually became someone who always asked what others needed before recognizing your own needs. No one turned off your light in a single day. It was lowered little by little through countless choices born from fear. What has held the new person back was not a lack of ability, nor was it because God had not given permission. It was your loyalty to a version of yourself whose assignment had already ended. You continued holding on to the person who once had to remain silent in order to be safe, please everyone to avoid abandonment, and accept less because you feared losing everything. That version helped you survive a difficult season, so you feel guilty when you think about releasing it. But you are not betraying your past by growing. You are simply thanking the mechanisms that once protected you and gently allowing them to rest. The armor that saved you in battle cannot become the clothing you wear inside a peaceful home. The first sign that change has begun is that you can no longer remain calm around what depletes you. Artificial conversations exhaust you more quickly. Relationships that only demand but never respect are no longer so easy to justify. In the past, you could endure for a long time and call it kindness. Now something within you begins to resist. Do not treat this resistance as selfishness. It is discernment coming back to life. You are learning that love does not require you to erase yourself. And peace cannot be built upon the continual betrayal of necessary boundaries. Another sign is that you are beginning to desire quietness more than noise. You no longer want to be everywhere, participate in every argument, or explain yourself to everyone. There are days when you want to withdraw, not because you hate the world, but because something within needs room to become orderly again. You are beginning to recognize that silence is not an empty and frightening place. It is where you can finally hear your own thoughts after years of being overwhelmed by outside voices. In that place, you understand more clearly who brings peace, what drains your strength, and which road you pursued only because you wanted to prove that you had not failed. This clarity is not loud, but it is changing every decision you make. The third sign is that you are beginning to stop asking permission to become yourself. You still listen to counsel, but you no longer give final authority to people who have never lived your life. You understand that not everyone will agree with the new direction, because many people are familiar only with the version of you that always accommodated their wishes. When you establish boundaries, they may say that you have changed, and they are right. You are changing from someone who lived to be accepted into someone who lives by truth. This transformation does not make you cold. It brings order to your kindness so that you no longer give from fear, but from freedom. This Sunday does not possess power because of the name of the day, nor is it some mysterious deadline that should cause panic. It may become a milestone because you choose to use it to turn back on the parts of yourself that were shut down. Create a quiet space. Put aside distractions. And ask yourself honestly, what am I continuing to live only because it is familiar? Which decision am I delaying because I fear disappointing others? What once made me come alive, but has been buried beneath responsibilities and anxiety? Do not force yourself to discover every answer in one day. Simply recognize one truth you no longer want to avoid, and take one small step aligned with that truth. Perhaps the first step is resting without condemning yourself. Perhaps it is completing a plan you delayed, sending a letter, beginning to learn a skill again, or leaving a place that continually causes you to question your worth. You do not need a dramatic action to prove that you have changed. Lasting transformation usually begins through ordinary decisions, repeated faithfully. Every time you say no to what weakens you and yes to what nourishes your growth, the light rises a little higher. Every time you choose truth instead of people-pleasing, your true self moves closer to the surface. My beloved child, I am not calling you to become a stranger. I am leading you back to the person you were before fear taught you to shrink, before judgment caused you to doubt your ability, and before exhaustion made you believe the light had disappeared. It never disappeared. It was only covered during the season when your attention had to remain focused on survival. Now, you no longer need to continue living through that old mode. You can enter a life where gentleness exists alongside boundaries. Courage walks with wisdom, and radiance no longer apologizes for being present. Walk through this Sunday with one quiet decision. You will no longer call the faded version your true self. You will not use the past to measure the limits of your future. Wait until everyone understands before moving forward. Or demand perfection from yourself before beginning. I am beside you to remind you that the switch was never beyond your reach. It turns on again every time you live according to what you know. Preserve your peace and take the step fear once prevented. The new person is not coming from somewhere far away. That person is awakening through each of your choices. Let the fog dissolve. Let the light return. And live like someone who has finally remembered who they were created to become. You know that a transformation is quietly rising within you because the signs are clear. The restlessness that refuses to sleep, sudden moments of clarity, and the ache you feel when you see someone else living what you once dreamed of. I want you to understand that these feelings are not proof that something is wrong with you, nor do they mean you have wandered too far from your path. They are knocks from the truest part of you, the part covered by duty, fear, disappointment, and years spent merely trying to survive each day. A new person is not being created from nothing. What is happening is that the old shell is beginning to crack, so the nature I placed within you from the beginning can return to the light. You do not need to become someone unfamiliar to yourself. You need only remember who you were before rejection made you shrink, before failure caused doubt, and before you learned to live a life just small enough to avoid further pain. The first sign is a quiet restlessness, a feeling that remains even when everything outwardly appears stable. You may have a job, a schedule, familiar responsibilities, and a life that causes outsiders to believe you lack nothing. Yet, during your quietest hours, you still hear a reminder that this is not the whole road. This does not necessarily mean what you have is bad. It means you know you are not yet living the full depth of what has been entrusted. There is an ability you have not used, a voice that has not been raised, and a direction you have not courageously pursued. That restlessness is not necessarily telling you to destroy everything overnight. It is simply asking you to stop pretending that you are completely satisfied with a life that forces the best part of you to remain asleep. Many people try to numb this feeling through busyness, entertainment, shopping, comparison, or rushing after goals that do not truly belong to them. They fill every empty space so they will not have to hear the question rising within. But what is suppressed does not disappear. It returns as exhaustion, irritability, lack of direction, or an emptiness they cannot explain. I do not want you to fear your restlessness, but neither do I want you to glorify it to the point of making impulsive choices. Listen to it wisely. Ask what in your life has become too narrow, what needs adjustment, and which step can be taken without destroying legitimate responsibilities. A true calling does not urge you to run away from every difficulty. It leads you toward a more honest and responsible life that no longer betrays the values engraved within you. The second sign is found in brief moments when the fog in your mind suddenly clears. Perhaps you are walking, waking up, sitting alone, or doing something very ordinary when everything unexpectedly becomes clear. You see an idea, a solution, or an image of the life you want to build. For a few minutes, the weight lifts. Your thoughts become organized. Creativity returns. And what once seemed impossible no longer appears so frightening. Then the clarity may close again, causing you to wonder whether you imagined it. But, my beloved child, those moments are precious. They reveal that discernment never fully left you. It was only covered by exhaustion, noise, and prolonged burdens. Write down what comes to you during those moments of clarity. Do not simply feel it and then allow it to disappear. A hastily written sentence, a small idea, or a recorded decision can become a bridge between awareness and action. Yet do not wait for inspiration before you begin living truthfully. A brief flash of light was not given so that you would forever mourn a few beautiful minutes. It is a reminder that you can create conditions in which clarity appears more often. You need enough sleep, less noise, a more ordered rhythm, and periods of time not invaded by the demands of others. When a room is cleared, light can enter more easily. When the mind rests, wisdom no longer has to force its way through layers of anxiety in order to reach you. The third sign is the ache you feel when you see someone else living courageously in an area you once felt called to enter. You see them writing, leading, creating, healing, building, or speaking in the very place where you remain silent. One part of you rejoices for them, while another becomes so sad that you feel ashamed and assume it must be jealousy. I want you to look more deeply. There are times when genuine jealousy must be confronted. But there are also times when the pain is simply recognition. You are seeing an image that touches the design still living within you. What hurts is not that another person carries light, but that you know you have allowed your own light to remain covered for too long. Do not use another person's success as proof that your opportunity has ended. They have not taken the portion of the road meant for you. The same field may need many voices, many forms of service, and many different stories. You do not need to copy them, nor should you turn awakening into competition. Ask what in their life is touching you. Is it their courage, disciplina, the way they use their gift, or the fact that they no longer ask others for permission to live authentically? The answer will show you where you need to grow. That ache is not a whip meant to punish you. It is a bell announcing that a part of your potential is demanding to live. If you recognize one of these three signs, I want you to stop calling yourself a failure. You are not too late. Neither do you need to rush after everything in order to compensate for lost time. A tree that has remained in the shade for a long time does not need to tear itself apart to grow tall overnight. It only needs to be moved gradually toward the light, watered properly, and given enough time to recover. You are the same. Begin with small but faithful changes. Make time for what makes you feel alive. Learn the skill you postponed. Write down the ideas you kept only in your mind. Speak with someone who can help you understand the road. End one habit that weakens your concentration. Every action like this removes another layer of dimness. I am not calling you to become a false version of yourself who is always strong, always inspired, and never doubtful. I am calling you back to truth. Restoration does not mean returning to exactly the person you were years ago, because you have learned too much to go back unchanged. It means the good qualities that were buried will be united with the wisdom you gained through testing. Your creativity will return, but it will be more mature. Courage will return without impulsiveness. Your voice will return without needing to shout for recognition. You are not starting again from zero. You are building from everything you have experienced. Perhaps you lived beneath dimness for so long that you began believing darkness was your nature. You became accustomed to exhaustion, doubt, and shrinking until the return of light felt unfamiliar. Do not return to what is familiar because of this. Give your eyes time to adjust. You do not need to understand every change immediately. Simply stop denying what is being awakened. When restlessness comes, listen instead of numbing it. When clarity appears, record it instead of doubting. When the ache arises, as you witness another person's courage, turn it into one small step instead of self-condemnation. My child, the secret is not that you must force yourself to become some extraordinary person. What I am restoring has already existed beneath layers of fear and weariness. I am removing the dimness, not creating a foreign nature. Your part is to cooperate with restoration through honesty, discipline, and patience. Do not continue burying the design merely because it has not yet been built. Do not call a brief flash of light imagination simply because it has not become your daily life. Do not call restlessness a defect if it is leading you closer to truth. You are not broken. You simply lived for too long in a place without enough light. Now the shell is cracking. Brightness is returning. And you are gradually remembering the person I have always seen within you. Your life is not a collection of meaningless fragments. It is a painting I am completing with both bright colors and the dark spaces you once wished never to see again. My beloved child, there were days when you saw only disconnected brushstrokes, lines that appeared mistaken, and colors that seemed completely out of harmony with what you desired. You looked at failures, silent tears, and closed doors, and wondered why your journey had to pass through so many difficult turns. But you are standing too close to the painting to see the whole. Where you see only a scratch, I see depth. Where others call something failure, I see a lesson making you mature. Where you believe precious years were lost, I am using that very time to build wisdom within you that an easy road could never give. The scars upon you are not proof that you were defeated. They show that there were places of pain that could not keep you down forever. You passed through days when merely waking required immense courage. There were moments when the weight within made breathing difficult, and even the encouragement of others could not reach the deepest place. You wondered how much longer you would have to endure and whether any of your effort would lead somewhere. Yet the fire you passed through could not consume the goodness within you. It only exposed what no longer belonged to the road ahead, the need to be accepted by everyone, the habit of becoming smaller to preserve peace, and the false belief that you possess worth only when you are always strong, useful, and never in need of help. I did not send pain to break you, nor do I call injustice good. But what happened cannot prevent me from causing wisdom to rise from that place. Like precious metal placed into high heat, so impurities separate from what is pure. You were led through circumstances that gradually revealed your true nature. You discovered that you could lose someone without losing yourself. You could experience rejection without treating it as a sentence against your worth. You could pass through lack and still remain generous. Endure betrayal without becoming cold. This is refinement. Not that you become harder, but steadier. Not that you stop feeling, but that you learn how to feel deeply without allowing pain to govern every decision. My child, you were not created to live a life continually bowing before fear. This does not mean you must become famous, wealthy, or known by the entire world. A great life is not always measured by the size of its stage, but by the amount of light you bring into the place where you stand. You can change a family by ending harmful words repeated for generations. You can change a workplace through honesty when everyone else chooses shortcuts. You can rescue someone from despair simply by remaining and listening without judgment. Your presence becomes a testimony not because you are perfect, but because others see that you were once broken and still chose to build. Once wounded and still continued, learning how to love with purity. The light I placed within you does not need to compete with the light of another. You do not need to lower anyone else in order to prove that you were chosen. Nor must you describe every victory in order to be recognized. Genuine radiance is often very quiet. It appears in the way you remain calm amid disorder, refuse to answer every provocation, and become strong enough to apologize when you know you were wrong. It appears when you establish boundaries without feeding hatred, refuse something profitable but dishonest, and stop returning to places that accept only the diminished version of you. Others will feel this light not because you force them to look, but because the freedom within you reminds them that they, too, can heal. What is coming may open a new season, but I want you to receive it with maturity rather than haste. In finance, opportunities may appear that help you leave a prolonged cycle of lack, but you still need to learn stewardship, planning, and how to distinguish a genuine opportunity from promises of quick wealth. Abundance is not only having more money, it also means no longer being ruled by financial panic, no longer using spending to cover emptiness, and learning to use resources to build a stable life. What I place in your hands is not meant to help you boast before those who underestimated you. It is entrusted so you can care for responsibilities, create something useful, and become a source of support without abandoning wisdom. Healing in relationships is also opening in ways you may not yet imagine. New people may enter and show you that love does not need to be accompanied by chaos. An old connection may be restored, but only when change appears in action and not merely in promises. There are also people you must allow to leave, because not everything broken needs to be rebuilt in its former form. I want you to enter relationships with an open heart and alert eyes. You are permitted to love while protecting peace. Forgive without returning the power to wound you, and choose people who respect your purpose, boundaries, and growth. Opportunities aligned with your deepest dreams may also begin to appear, but do not remain still while waiting for everything to complete itself. Prepare your ability for what you are asking to receive. Learn the necessary skills, complete unfinished work, and move through small but consistent actions. An open door does not replace discipline. It simply gives you space to use what was prepared. I do not want you to labor in desperation, but neither have I called you to hide behind beautiful words while refusing responsibility. Mature faith knows how to pray and act. Wait for the right time, and recognize the moment to rise. Doubt will try to say that goodness belongs only to others, that your past has disqualified you, or that you do not possess enough ability for new responsibility. Do not silence that voice merely by pretending you are unafraid. Look directly at it and ask what evidence is feeding it. Is it the voice of someone who once looked down upon you? Is it the memory of one failure you continue using to judge the whole future? Are you comparing your beginning with another person's middle chapter? When you correctly identify the source of doubt, you will recognize that it is not the final truth. You may not be completely ready, but you can learn. You may not know the entire road, but you can walk the path already illuminated. The bridge between where you stand and where you are going is not built through one powerful emotion. It is formed through faithful choices repeated each day. Every time you do what is right, when no one watches, another stone is placed. Every time you rest, instead of burning away your strength, the bridge becomes steadier. Every time you refuse to return to an old pattern, keep a promise to yourself, or seek help rather than hiding, you move closer to a new life. Your prayer is not only found in what you say, it is also expressed in the way you arrange your days to match what you believe. Therefore, my beloved child, look back upon your journey with compassion rather than shame. The dark colors are not the whole painting, but they created depth that allows the light to become clearer. You do not need to deny what happened, nor do you need to remain forever in the role of someone who was wounded. I am adding new strokes of peace, freedom, joy, and maturity to your life. You have not yet seen the entire masterpiece, but every faithful day is bringing it closer to completion. Move forward, not like someone desperately fleeing the past, but like someone who knows they are being guided toward a wider future. A time will come when you look back and understand that the winding roads never cancelled your purpose. The moments when you believed you were lost taught you how to recognize direction. Tears softened your heart so that you would not become proud when lifted. The times you had to begin again taught you how to extend a hand to someone standing amid ruin. I am not only preparing goodness for you, I am preparing you to carry that goodness while preserving humility, discernment, and love. The painting is not yet finished, but my hand has never left it. Continue walking, believing, and doing what is right, because what is being formed will not only make your life more beautiful, it will also make you a light that helps many others recognize that their story has not ended either.